Just doing a little bit of course, guys, you all know this, that, man, when I sit down to grab the guitar and do these little videos, it is, I'm not bragging or complaining, but there's no real, I'm not working out things and like stopping the video and going back and making sure everything is exactly perfect. I mean, you can tell there's some things I'm going for, and they might not be exactly perfect, but it's the idea that I'm going for. It's pushing the envelopes where I'm not just playing the same thing every single time. So I'm not saying that it's super cool or anything or on purpose to make a mistake, but I'm just, you just want to be pushing the boundaries whenever you can. If you have a little idea, try to develop it into something. If you learn something down here, try to work it all the way down. If you're working on something down here, try to work it all the way up the fingerboard. So, I want to share something with you guys. I'm so excited to be leaving tomorrow evening with the trio to fly to Boston, get a good night's sleep, a nice dinner, and then we go to the Berklee College of Music on Monday and play from 3 to 5, do a little symposium there, a little question and answer and performance, play 2 or 3 songs, take some questions, play a couple songs, take some questions. Private event there for the class and all that. Then at 6 o'clock that evening, we jump on a train and go down to New York City, and then get a good night's sleep and a nice dinner there in the West Village. And then we head to the bitter end on Tuesday night and Wednesday night to play our shows, and then off to Chicago with Dennis Quaid. Tim and Jordan will come back to Nashville, and I go hook up with Pete Abbott, Mike Bubb, Tony Harrell, David Ferguson, our fearless leader, and then hook up with Quaid and do that gig in Chicago. So all good stuff, man, no complaints. But I wanted to share something with you guys. When you're doing anything blues oriented or intermediate, introductory, rather, excuse me, I had to have a little drink of some water there. Introductory jazz blues, which is like these Freddie Green, Count Basie rhythm guitar chords, where instead of going, you're doing these really nice clean voicings where the root, the flat 7 on the D string, major third on G on the G string. So that's B, F, G, right? You can see that's coming from this big chord. But I'm reducing it down and muting, inadvertently muting the A string, and I'm not playing the E or the B string, just that 3-note chord. Root, flat 7, third. Now when I take that down, that tritone, they call that a tritone. When I take that down a half step, now that is C7, as you can see. But I'm leaving the G on the bass, right? So you can hear that when you go to D, put an A on the bass and play the same voicing. Right? So look, what I want you to realize here is I want you to really look at what's going on there. I've got the major third and the flat 7 of the G. When that goes down a half step towards the nut, that's C7, but what happens is the properties invert. So now the G string, this has become the flat 7 of the C. The D string is now the major third of the C. And now when I go back up to G, now it's the major third of G, the flat 7 of G. If I go up to D, now that's the flat 7 of the D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. 1, 2, 3. There's the third. If you can get your head around this and really look at how that's changing, if you do it everywhere, and that's why every single triad, if you can really understand how huge this is right here and hear this, that just doesn't happen right there. That happens every single spot. There's a major third and a flat 7. Look, here's G. There's my flat 7. There's the third. There's the flat 7. Go down a half step. It's built into that C. Now watch. Because watch, it's everywhere. It's here. Here's my G. Here's my G7. Here's the tritone. There's the C7. Watch D. The G everywhere. Look right here. Here's the where would it be here? Yeah. So here's my A shape, major third, flat 7. It's everywhere that relationship happens. Watch. There's G7. Right, okay, it's everywhere. Everywhere there's that tritone, back down a half step is, so when you're playing lead guitar, this is where this really can take off for you. If you can just work at this and try to understand what I'm telling you. Now, I can't sit here for hours and hours and hours and show you all these note for note lines that I'm playing, because I've been working on this for 35 years. And so, but if you can just think about some of this stuff and how that little bitty relationship, you know, just this, how this is so directly related to lead guitar playing, it is absolutely unbelievable. Because that's the change. So what's happening is, to break this down at the most fundamental level possible, the change that you're hearing, if you target those notes, you're going to sound like you're playing over the chords. And that is what this is all about. It's the root, flat 7 third. Even if you're playing non-blues music and you're just playing a country song going, you know, G, 7, yeah, C, C7, back to G, to the D, D7. So the 7, the flat 7, that flat 7 is always a half step above or below the target note for the next chord, which is going to be your third. So you can see this is a perfect example. If I'm down here, if I'm playing the 9 grip in the G down here, the same tritone is going to work. Watch. C, G, D, C, G, right? So if I'm in the C shape, that's not a great example in that shape. Let me do this one. Here's the C shape. So when I go C7, that it's pulling your ear to that major third of the next chord. Watch. D7, where this line comes in. On the 5 chord, you're hanging on that flat 7. That resolved, but instead of just going, that's the basics, but that's a little bit more note leading, right? So if I go, right, G to G7, that's the lick. That's where it's come from, right? That's that dominant 7 sound. But if I do this, now watch. So I'm targeting the major third of the next chord. This is a lot to get into, but that is where this is coming from. If you can, that's where it's coming from. If you can really get into this, it's everywhere. That's C, G, D. So just find those, the major third and the flat 7, and work on just that blues with those little things. And man, that I think is going to be a game changer. I mean, I'm trying to think more and more about this, and man, that is a huge thing. If you can get your ear and your eyes to see and hear exactly what's going on there, that is a huge thing. You can tell I'm passionate about it. I mean, I can't stress this enough. And so, thanks a bunch, guys. I just want to get something out to you here before I left tomorrow evening to head to the airport. I might not see you for a day or so. I'm going to try to do some stuff at Berkeley, some behind-the-scenes stuff. If you guys are interested in that, maybe get somebody to film a little bit of what's going on there. And then, of course, we'll be documenting the trip as we go from Boston to New York to Chicago and back down here to Music City. But look, guys, thanks so much for helping to grow this channel. We got a hell of a community here, as I always like to say that. Thanks a ton. Thanks so much for the tip jar donations. That's below in the links in the description section. Some people have been asking where to find that. Don't forget to read the descriptions. I usually just say a little something about the video and then have all the links to everything. Don't forget all the merch, all the CDs, all the things that we do to help make us make a living here. And then, check out Instagram for more stories and daily updates and little fun stuff. Please sign up for the newsletter, man. That's one of our most fun and favorite things that we do. It's more like a blog. It's not a sales pitch every time. We do it every other Tuesday, and it's just a fun thing that we really love spending some time and really dialing that in and making a little something fun for everybody. All right, guys, thanks a bunch. All right, guys, have some fun with some dominant 7 blues chords, and we'll see you guys real soon. All right, cheers. See ya.